This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. I hope you are able to see my screens.
Yes, sir, right, sir.
Okay. So with respect to time management, we have of course covered the introduction to time management, and then we have discussed about what is positive, negative time evaluation with clock times and without clock times. And then we have done the configuration of attendances, absences, quotas, counting rules and deduction rules, and compensatory of configuration as well. So we were done with all this stuff. And then we have also discussed about the schemas and PCRs in time management. And we have performed a sample time evaluation as well. Yeah, we have performed a sample time evaluation. So the next concepts that are left out are like we have time wage types, time managers workplace, and cross application timesheets. So these are the three concepts that are left out with respect to time management. And then we will be able to cover this in a couple of sessions actually. And then later, after that, we will start with payroll. Yeah, with payroll. All right. So once we are done with the payroll, we will be done with the syllabus. Yeah, because we have covered the rest of the concepts already. Yeah, we have covered the rest of the concepts. So let us move forward and log in and check the compensatory of configuration once. Though we have done it completed last time, though I have shown you the end-to-end configuration and the output as well, but let me just review it once.
Yes.
So we are left out with payroll, so you will have to kind of finish your practice by the time we finish the course. That should be your target at least. Because I think I have one certification exam on Monday. So if I complete that, then once Monday is over, then I should be able to finish your syllabus by next weekend. That's my target. Yeah. Okay. So are you able to see my screens now? No, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Right now, you're able to see?
Yes, sir, right, sir. I can.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you go back, if you just quickly look at the spreadsheet, what we have what we have discussed about comp of, and then if we cross check or if we compare this with the actual comp of process that we have configured and the output that we have seen, you should be able to relate it easily. Now we said that whenever an employee books attendance on a public holiday or day off, yeah, then those number of hours have to be transferred to the absence quota. That is the concept of compensatory off. So first of all, after completing the end-to-end configuration, what we have done is we have booked an attendance on a public holiday or day off. Now, if you go to PA30, we go to PA30 and give the personal number of the employee whom we have hired. Yeah. And if you check out the attendances that we have booked, yeah, click on all, yeah, click on all and say overview. When you say overview, you will be able to see all the attendances that were captured for this employee. Yeah, captured for this employee. So if you look at the overview, you'll be able to see that we have two records for attendances. One is on 9th and the other one is of 10th of May. Yeah, the first one is on 9th, the second one is on 10th. So if you look at the calendar, 9th and 10th May are weekly offs. Yeah, weekly offs. That means for these number of hours which the employee has booked on these 2 days, the comp of quota has to be generated. So on 9th, the employee has booked 8 hours, and on 10th also the employee has booked 8 hours of attendance. So totally 16 hours of attendance the employee has booked, on a day off. On day off. So if you want to generate the compensatory of quota, you have to perform time evaluation. You have to perform time evaluation. We perform time evaluation using PT60. Yeah, PT60. Go to PT60, give the personal number of the employee whom we have hired, and then the schema that we are using is VA04, yeah, display
Right.
log, test on no update, and then execute. Then execute. When you click on execute, the system will execute the time evaluation till 16/5/2020. That
5.
is date, till current date. Now, if you observe this time evaluation very closely, yeah, we'll be able to understand a few things, that we have configured. Now, open up ninth. Yeah, open up
Okay.
ninth. Now, when you open up ninth, open up provide time data. So when
Okay.
you look into this provide time data block, you should be able to see the number of hours that we have booked. Yeah, you should be able to
Right.
see the number of hours
Number
that
of
we have. So where did we book the attendances? In 2002 info type. We have booked
yes.
attendances in
2002.
2002
Okay.
to info type, that is for attendances. So P2002 is the function. Yeah,
Okay.
P2002 is the function that will read the number of hours stored in 2002 info type on this particular day.
Okay.
Because the time evaluation will be executed for each and every employee for each and every day. Yeah, for each and every day. That is what we discussed, right? So initialization will be executed only once, in a month, whereas the whatever is there in the day processing,
Okay.
that will be executed for each and every employee for each and every day. If you open up another
Okay.
screen and if you look at if you go to P01 and if you look at the schema that we are using right now, what is the schema that we are using right now? If you go to general data, schema is
Yes.
VA04.
Time evaluation.
VA04 is the
04.
schema that we are using right now. Click on display. When you click on display, we have already discussed about this. We have BINI, mod,
Okay.
and EINI. So this is called as the initialization block. The initialization block for the salaried employees, will be executed only once in a month. Yeah, and whatever is the day processing that starts with B day, yeah, that starts with
Okay.
B day at line number 100 and ends with E day at line number 780. So whatever is there between this B day and E day is called as a day processing. It is called as a day
Okay.
processing. So if you look at the B day in line number 100, it says day processing. You see, day processing. So with this B day function, the day processing will begin. And whatever is there between this B day and E day will be executed for each and every employee for each and every day. So after the initialization process is over, between B day and E day, whatever is there, this will be executed for each and every day. So on third also, whatever is there between B day and E day will be executed for this employee. Again on fourth, the same thing will be repeated. Fifth, sixth,
Fifth,
seventh, eighth, ninth,
and
tenth, so
until.
on and so forth. So for
Okay.
each and every employee, whatever is there between B day and E day, that will be executed for each and every day because that is called as a day processing. That is called as day processing.
Day
So what will
processing.
the system do? On third, the system will check what are the number of hours that are stored using different info types. It will check info type 2002. It will check info type 2001 absences.
One.
It will check info
Okay.
type 2003, that is substitutions. It will check
Okay.
these three info types. It will check these three info types. Okay. And the system will check if an absences record is present on the day or not. If an attendances
Okay.
record is present on the day or not. If a substitutions record is present on the day or not. System will check
Okay.
each and every day. So like that, if you open this one, you see absences, input and output. So on third, there is no absence that is booked for this employee. So there is no input. There is
Absent.
no
Right.
record.
Input.
There is no record. Okay. Then for fourth, okay, for third, okay, then for fourth, provide time data, open else. Again, it will check, is there any absence that is booked? Then is there any attendance that is booked? It will check.
Okay.
Yeah. So on fourth, we are seeing some table entry exists. If you double click here, because this is, I'll tell you what, because
Okay.
we are using negative time management. Okay. The time management status that we are using for this employee is time management status 9. What do you mean by time management status 9? It means negative time management. What do you mean by negative time management? Negative time management means if at all there are any deviations in the planned working time, only
Okay.
then a record should present. That means if the employee wants to book an absence, a record should be there. If the employee is doing any overtime, the record should be there. Otherwise, for attendances, a record need not be present. Yeah, need not be present. If an absence is not there or if an overtime is not there, the system will consider that the employee is at work. System will consider that the employee is at work. That is what is called as negative time management. For this employee, the time management status is 9. That means only if the employee is absent, a record should be there, and only if the employee is booking an overtime, the record should be there. Otherwise, the system will consider, it will take it for granted that the employee is at work. Yeah, that is the specialty of negative time management. That is the reason why we don't have an attendance record that is required in case of negative time management. Okay, so that is the reason why we are unable to see any record here. Now, if similarly, if you go to 9, if you go to 9, provide time data. So this is a day off. If you open 2002, you are seeing an input table entry exists. If you double click it here, we'll be able to see VAS INC comp of attendance. Using this attendance type, which is 9500 code, the employee has booked 8 hours of attendance. Okay, 8 hours of attendance. That is from 8 o'clock in the morning till 16 hours. Till 16 hours, the employee has booked attendance. Similarly, now what happens to these 8 hours? Now, when you scroll little down, we have something called as determined planned working times. Yeah, determined planned working times. So this determined planned working times has block. This is a block. It has a function called types. It has a function called types. You can cross check this with the schema. So if you scroll little down after provide time data, determine planned working times. Okay, here you have a function called types. What this function types will do is it will read T555Y table. It will read T555Y table. What is T555Y table? I'll show you. Open a new session. Go to SM30. Go to SM30. Give the table name T555Y table. Yeah. Display. T555Y table is nothing but the table where we have assigned the time type that we have created. Yeah, the time type that we have created. What is the time type that we have created? We have created a time type called as VAST. Yeah, we have created the time type called as VAST. So what this table does is the number of hours that is stored in the info type 2002. Yeah, the number of hours that is stored in info type 2002 will be transferred to this time type. Yeah, transferred to this time type. How will it be transferred? It will be transferred because we have assigned this time type in paid type 3. In paid type 3. What does the paid type 3 do? It will pull. If you go to if you hit on F1, yeah, if you hit on
Okay.
F1, you see the documentation. It will assign the number of hours stored in info type 2002. Yeah,
Okay.
it will assign the number of hours present in info type 2002 to this time type. This is a specialty of this table. Yeah, the specialty of this
Okay.
table, or the importance of this table, or the use of this table is that the number of hours stored in info type 2002 will be assigned to the time type that is given here in the paid type 3. Paid type 3.
3.
Okay. Now, if you look at the paid type 2, if you hit on F1, the number of hours stored using info type 2001
2001.
absences, yeah, that will be assigned to the time type if at all you have assigned the time type.
2.
Yeah. Then paid type 1. What is the specialty of paid type 1? If we hit on F1, if at all you have stored the number of hours using 2011 info type, yeah, if at all you have stored the time using the time recording terminal. What is time recording terminal? Your swipe in and swipe out, the swipe card system. If at all you have used a swipe card
Okay.
system for your client, and if at all your employees swipe in and swipe out using the time card
Okay.
system, then those number of hours will be transferred to the time type that is assigned here. Yeah, to the time type that has been assigned here. So with respect to the example, what we are seeing right now, we have assigned only one time type, and that one time type is assigned in paid type 3. Paid type 3 means the number of hours stored in 2002 info type will be transferred to this time type. That is the importance of this table itself. SAP has designed this table itself in such a way that the number of hours stored in different info types will be transferred to the time types that have been assigned here. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
when the control comes to this place called types function, the types function will refer the table T555Y table, and it will transfer the number of hours stored in the info type 2002 to the time type. That is the specialty of this table itself. SAP
Okay.
has designed this table itself in such a way. So if you double click here, you will see the number of hours stored using attendances info type. What is the number of hours? 8 o'clock to 16 hours. You
16
navigate
hours.
back. If you get to the tip table, you will see 8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours have been recorded on this day. You navigate back, and if you look at the output table, it's again tip table. Now you see the beauty of this table, that this number of hours, 8 hours, have been assigned to VAST time type. VAST time type. And the processing class is P, and whatever entries you are seeing there, you will be able to see here also. Now, if you look at this table, 12 is the P by T grouping, and time type determination group is 02, and personal sub-area grouping for time recording is 01. So you will be
Okay.
able to see those entries in this internal table. P by T grouping, yeah, and all this stuff. So that means the number of hours that have been stored using different info types will be transferred to the time types using this P555Y table if we
Why?
have done the configuration properly. If we have
Okay.
done the configuration properly, it will be transferred to the time type. Now, why the number of hours have to be transferred to the time type? Because during the time evaluation, the system will read and process the number of hours that are there in the time type. Time types have been designed in such a way that they will be utilized by the schema to process the time data. Yeah, to
Okay.
process the time data. Now, this number of hours, 8 hours, will be processed further, in the schema using this time type only, VAST only. If you open up, let's see what is being read somewhere. See, VAST. Throughout the
Right.
entire day processing, the number of hours, 8 hours that have been stored will be processed only using VAST time type.
Okay, VST.
Open up manage time accounts. VR11 is the PCR that we have included. Yeah, the input you will see VAST. In the processing, it is going to be processed using the VR11 PCR. So the way we have included in the PCR, you'll be able to see it here. Yeah, and then finally, these number of hours will be assigned to the quota. Now, if you look at the
Okay.
input, the quota table is ABW KONTI. If you double click on this, you don't see any quota, but the output ABW KONTI, you'll be able to see the quota of 8 hours. Now, if you look at the
Okay.
processing, look at this. Quota type is 85,
Type
right?
85,
This is
right?
what we have configured. VASINC comp of absence quota. If you double click on this, you'll be able to see condition set for hiring date is fulfilled. Condition for challenge group and degree of challenge, we didn't configure this, of course. It is 8 hours is generated here. You see, you'll be able to see.
Right.
Accrual period is 9th,
9.
the same day. Valid interval for this quota is this entire year, 1/1/2022, 31/12/2020. Reduction interval is also same. Transfer time is same day. So you'll be able to see the rule that we have created is rule number 850. Yeah, rule number 850. The quota is 85. So if you open up all these internal tables, you will be able to see how exactly the time data is being processed. Now you have PSP table. Double click PSP table. We'll be able to see the work schedule on this day. That is day off. Day off is the daily work schedule. If you open up ZES table, you'll be able to see the number of hours that have been booked on this day. You will see VAST, right? VAST. And all these are time types. All these 4-character codes, all these are standard time types that have been defined by SAP. Yeah, these are all standard time types. So like this, you should be able to understand. You have to open up the log tree and check for each and every day how many hours have been booked, how many hours have been processed, which time types are processing it. You should be able to understand, because once you get into a job, when client reports an issue, they say that okay, there
Okay.
is an evaluation, there's an issue in the time evaluation. Then when there is an issue in the time evaluation, the system will exactly pinpoint. Yeah, the system will
Okay.
exactly pinpoint where the issue is in the log tree. So you should be able to understand that. You should be able to open the log tree and check where exactly is the issue. What is the system reading in the internal table? In the input
Okay.
table. What is it processing? Why is the value not being thrown in the output table? You should be able to understand all this.
Okay.
Now, let us book an absence on one day. Let us say on 5th, we'll book an absence. Okay, before booking an absence, you check out the provide time data, absences record, you just check it.
So,
There is no
so
record.
small.
Yeah,
Actually, we booked 2 days. It's on 9th and 10th
yes,
compensated. But
yes.
it's showing only on 9th.
Yeah, you have to check 10th also. If you check open up 10th, it will
Okay.
show you on
It
10th
won't be
also.
in. Okay, like that. Okay. It will be separated. Okay.
We already discussed, right? Each and every
Right.
day, time evaluation
Okay.
will be executed each and every day. So
Okay.
while looking at 9th, we'll be able to see only the data that has been booked,
Okay.
that has been recorded only on 9th. The system will not
Fine.
check 10th, only on
Okay.
9th. Only on 9th, the system will check, is there any absences record? Is there any
Okay.
attendances record? Or is there any substitutions record?
Fine.
Only for 9th, the system will check. That's all.
Okay. Fine. For
So day
each and everything,
processing,
there will be individual
ah,
speeds. Okay.
individual days. That's the reason we are saying day processing, no? That's the reason
Right.
it is
Yes.
day processing. So each and
Okay.
every day, it will check. Even on 10th, you can check. Now, even
Okay.
on 10th, it will provide time data. You will be able to
Alright.
see. 2000 output,
output.
you'll see 8 hours. I think we booked only 4 hours, is it?
4 hours. Right.
4
One is
hours.
4 hours and one is 8.
So if you open up the quota on 10,
Sir.
it will show you 8 plus 4.
8
It
plus
should
4.
show 12
12.
hours.
Right.
12
12
hours.
hours.
Okay. Now let us book absence on one of these days. Let us book absence. Let us say, what's it doing? Detailed view is being structured.
Detail
Okay,
view.
let's book absence on one of these days. Let's say after 10, 2001. Let's say absences info type is 2001. Yeah.
Okay.
And what is the
Right, sir.
absence type that we have created? The absence type
Mhm.
that we have created is paid leave. Let's say, not
No,
VMP.
sir.
VAS.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Yes, we will
8.
see annual leave. Okay. Period. Click on create. Okay. Now let us say on 12th, I want to book an absence.
Okay.
12th to 13th, let's say. I want to book an absence. Save. 2 days. We'll get a quota
2
here.
days. Okay. No
No
quota
quota
available.
available. Oh, is it? Okay. I
Okay.
think the quota we did not save, I guess. Okay. We did not save the quota. Hang on.
Okay. Quota.
Let's say unpaid leave. Let me check if there is an unpaid leave.
Yes,
There's an unpaid leave here. Date must be specified. 13/05.
sir. The record flash. Yeah.
2020. 12.
Okay.
2020. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. Record is booked. This is some other, unpaid leave. Though we did not
Okay.
configure it, we will be able to still use it because it is under the same grouping. Okay. Now, when you execute the time evaluation, run some process. It is structuring a detailed view. Okay. Let me run time evaluation in some other session.
Okay.
Now PT60. PT60. The employee is 4,000. Sorry, 4 followed by so many zeros, and then 004.
04.
Display log test run update.
Excuse.
When you execute, the system will show, of course, on 9th and 10th, anyways, we will see the comp of quota. But apart from that, now provide time data. Else, look at this, P2001 input. You see, now there is a record for absences. When you double click on this, the system will show us that absences record has been booked on this day. Yeah, it is on 12th and 13th. Of course, the system is also throwing an error with regards to some absence valuation. There is some absence valuation condition. Yeah, T554C is absence valuation table. We'll discuss about absence valuation in payroll. Yeah, in payroll.
Okay.
Look at the syllabus. We have integration of the absence valuation. You see, this is in payroll
Right.
concept. Payroll concept.
Okay.
So we'll discuss in payroll. So
Okay.
what
Actually, now
we
it
need
got
to,
mute. Yeah.
sorry,
Maybe
what you
server.
say?
Actually, it got mute for 30 seconds. Maybe
Oh, is
server.
that?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what you have to observe here is that the absence record that has been booked. Yeah, absence record that has been booked. So if at all there is an absence record that is booked, we'll be able to see that record only on that day. Yeah, only on that day. Right. That is what I wanted to show you. So this is how the time evaluation will be executed. This is how the time evaluation will be executed. And did you understand the comp of concept?
Slightly, sir. Need to check again. I mean,
What is it? You have to practice.
yeah,
Right?
so I will go through the video record.
You have to practice.
So,
I just ended the task. Okay. So this is all about time evaluation. This is all about
bit,
time
yeah,
evaluation and also compensatory of process. Compensatory of process. So
it's
whenever
a
the
bit
employer,
confusing.
yeah, it's a bit, sorry,
Yeah.
confusing.
It's a bit confusing, right? Yeah.
You have to practice.
Okay, okay, sir.
Follow the videos, just like the way I have explained you,
Sir,
and
okay, sure.
even you will be able to do this very easily. It's a matter of practice.
Okay,
And you should be able to understand this process. If you want to understand time management, okay,
sir.
you should understand this process. And you should be able to explain this process to someone else also.
Time
Okay.
evaluation.
Yeah, that is when you can consider that you are able to understand time evaluation. Okay.
Okay,
So first of all, you
okay,
need to understand that the time evaluation will get executed for each and every day, for each and every
okay,
employee. Is the first point.
okay,
Also, you
okay,
need to understand that there is something called as day processing. Yeah, in time evaluation. Yeah, in the
okay.
day processing, what happens is
After that, 10 period in dot.
uh,
Yeah,
so you also okay. Insert. Okay. You also first of all, what you need to understand is that during the time evaluation, what exactly happens? Okay.
okay,
During time evaluation, what happens is there are two steps that there are two parts in time evaluation. The first one is
okay,
initialization. Second thing is day processing. Initialization will be executed only once, in a month for salaried employees for whom the payroll period is monthly. Yeah, for whom the pay period
uh,
is monthly, it will be
initialization
executed only and initialization will be executed only once in a month. Whereas
once in a
the
month.
day
It's
processing, the day processing will be executed once in a day. Yeah. And where is the initialization in the schema? The initialization
okay,
is you have to always compare with the schema that we are using, the log tree with the
okay,
schema. So initialization
okay,
is line number 60, line number 70, and line number 80. Only these three
okay,
lines are initialization. Okay.
okay,
BINI, mod, BINI. In mod, we have TMON and gen. Okay.
okay,
So if you look at the log tree, you'll be able to see mod, TMON, and gen.
yeah,
BINI will start the initialization. EINI will end the initialization. So will not be able to see BINI and EINI, but whatever is there between that we'll be able to see here. So this
is it
initialization have
okay? Is this applicable only for the permanent employee or for the hourly base?
everybody. For even them
Everybody.
also you'll be able to see.
Day
When
process also
users,
is the same.
everybody. But
Okay.
whatever is there in the between B day and E day, that will be
Okay.
executed in the day process. Whatever is
Uh-huh.
there between B day and E day, if you look at the schema, B day
Okay.
begins in line number 100. Between B
Yes.
day and E day, we have 7 blocks, right?
Under the
What are the 7 blocks we have? We have provide time data, error checks,
oh,
right? Determine plan
right.
working time, determine overtime, and all this stuff. So you see, provide time data. You have here provide time data, block
Right.
begin and block
B
end.
and E.
It
Okay.
ends here, block end. Then error checks, block begin. And then after
Okay.
error checks, you have determine planned working times, block begin and block end. Then determine, after determine planned working times, we have determine overtime, select time wage types, compensate overtime wage types, manage time. So these are 7 blocks. All these 7 blocks you'll be able to see for each and every day. That means
Okay.
on Sunday, the system will check if there is any time management related records, that is attendances, absences, or substitutions. It will do the
Mm-hmm.
error checks. It will do the plan working. It will assign to the time types to the time pairs, and then it will check if there is an overtime. It will generate the time wage types, compensation of overtime wage types, manage time amounts. Again after third, again on fourth, it will again check if there is any record present for absences or attendances or substitutions. It will do error checks. So this process will go on and on and on and on for each and every day. So first of
Okay.
all, you should be able to understand this, how the time
Okay.
data that has been stored in different info types will be processed during time evaluation. This understanding you need to have. Okay. So
Okay.
whatever time data has been recorded, we'll be able to check in provide time data. After that, to which time types it has been assigned, we'll be able to understand in types. Here you will understand.
And working input and output.
Because this is negative time management, what the system does is the system will consider, though there is no attendances info type specifically present, system will
Hmm.
just consider that the employee is at work as per the planned working hours. System will take it for granted. Yeah, system will take it for
Okay.
granted.
Yeah, I
Now
get
let us say you're working in a company. Let's say you're working
it.
somewhere as a recruiter, and your
Okay.
working hours are from 8 p.m. Okay, let's say you're working as a some international recruiter or US recruiter. Your working hours start from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Let's say or 5 a.m. Okay.
Okay.
Now you will leave your home at because uh, what time is it? 4 p.m. Right?
So you mean morning for okay.
Let's say, hang on, figure out the
Okay.
spreadsheet. Let's say your planned working hours start at 4 p.m. Yeah, or 8 p.m. Let's say 8 p.m. to
Okay.
4 a.m. or 5 a.m. Let's say. Okay. So if your if your start time is at 8 a.m., 8 p.m. and end time is at 5 p.m., what happens? You have to start from home at 7,
Hmm.
right? You
Right.
will reach home
Yes.
at 6,
Six.
6. So
Okay.
when you leave home at 7 o'clock, what will your parents think? They will by default think that you are going to work only, right? Yeah. By default, they'll think that you're going to work. So
Right.
this is how it is. If it is negative if it is negative time management, the system will consider that you will be at work as long
At it.
as you don't book an absence.
Okay.
That will understand it by default.
Okay.
Okay, the system will check info type 2001 record. If there is no record present in 2001, the system will consider that you are at work. That is the
Okay.
beauty of negative time management. So daily you don't have to book attendances. Okay,
Okay.
if your time management status is 9 in info type 7, system will
Okay.
consider that you are a negative time management employee. Negative time management means you don't have to book attendances. As long as there is no absences record present, the system will by
Okay.
default consider that you are at work.
Oh.
That is the reason why, though you have not booked any attendances on
Mm.
what date is this?
It's
Though you
like
have not booked any attendances on Tuesday, 5th,
it's the
still the
fifth.
system is consider 5th, sorry. Still, the system is considering that you are at work as per the planned working hours. This is
Okay.
purely because of negative time management.
Okay.
This is purely because of negative time management. And this number of hours are being transferred to a standard time type called as 1100. Yeah?
Level one double.
Where can you check this 1100 time type? This time type is already assigned here somewhere. You check for 1100 somewhere here. You see this one, this entry. This
11.
entry.
Okay. That. Okay.
Okay. It is considered in this 1100 time type, and the processing type is S. Yeah.
Okay.
And the PPT grouping is 00. And then
Okay.
all this stuff. Time type
Group.
determination groups. All this stuff. It is considering based on, hang on, based on the configuration what we have done, it is considering these entries. It's considering these entries. The standard time type. So this is a negative time management. So you should be
Okay.
able to understand all this. You should be able to understand all this. And not only
Okay.
understanding, you should be able to explain to someone when they ask
Right.
you. Okay. So
Yes.
then you can consider that you have understood the time evaluation. Okay. The configuration part is, of course, that is fine. We have configured info types, 2001, we have configured info type 2006 quotas, we have configured 2002 attendances, we have done all the configurations. But
Right, sir.
after doing the configuration, where are you going to apply it? We are going to apply it when you book an absence or attendances. That is when we are going to apply it. We are going to use it. And how do you know that you have used it? After booking an attendances or absences, you should be able to see the info type record here in PA30. Okay.
Yes.
After seeing the
Okay.
info type record in PA30, you should be able to see the time data during the time evaluation.
Okay.
Okay. The way we have seen the compo of output today. What did we do? We have booked an attendance. We have seen
Right,
how
sir.
the attendance is being transferred from the info type record to the time type. We have seen that using the type function. Then after that, how is it being carried or added to the quota? We have checked that also. So you have done the configuration. Yeah. You have booked the
Yes,
info,
sir.
you have booked attendances. Then you have also seen it by executing the time evaluation.
Right.
So you should be able to understand this end-to-end process. Only when you understand and when you can explain to someone else this end-to-end process, that is when you can consider that you understand time evaluation.
Yeah.
So these are the questions that will be asked in the interview also. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when
Awesome.
you say that you have worked on, time management. Okay.
Okay.
So what happens in the interview is you actually guide. You should guide. You should
Okay.
guide the interviewer to ask questions from the concepts which you know. So
Okay.
you need to guide the interviewer.
Okay. Okay.
Let me stop the recording here.